It's been quite a morning for me, running around all the way to Siddhachalam and then coming back from there. So, first of all, I would like to thank this group. Many of you may not know, but they have selected me to be the Board of Trustees for the Parliament of the World Religions. And thank you. As that happened this year, the reason I want to bring it up here was that my limited participation with the Gathering of Light was one of the reasons they found me to be, that I'm working with Interfaith, and they selected me. So I could not thank enough for whatever time I spent here. It was acknowledged by a larger community, and they have selected me to represent Jainism and take the Parliament to the next level. So I feel gratitude and thanks to this team for honoring me, bringing me here, considering me worthwhile. So I appreciate all the support, and it has brought some new colors in my life. And I hope to continue to do work in the path of interfaith and bringing everything together. So thank you once again, and I wanted to acknowledge and begin with that. So next, my topic today, and as I told Pannanti, was that I would like to talk about conscious living and what Lord Mahaveera talked about and said about from conscious living. And I chose a topic because we talk about various things about Lord Mahaveera, but conscious living is something where over the last 2-3 years I have started bringing it into perspective for personal life and development, and I would like to share some of my experiences as I went on to the path of conscious awareness living. So when I started about 3 years ago in a path of understanding who I am and where am I going to go, I tried to understand that am I living in a conscious world? Am I living with an awareness that I exist? And in that process, I had to first understand what is conscious living. Is it just purely about being aware of who you are and where you are and what you're doing? Or is it much more and deeper than that? And in that process, I understood from a Jainism faith perspective that conscious living is not just about being aware, it's about being in the present. Are you here? Are you in this moment? And if you are in this moment, how are you? Like, are you coming into this moment with all your baggages of the past, the experiences and the information and the knowledge, the love, the hatred? Is everything coming with you in this present moment? Or are you in this present moment the way you should be? So when I researched some of our literature and I went on to understand, am I living in the present? And I tried to understand what is living in the present means. Where am I in the present? So living in the present, the way Jainism describes, the way Lord Mahaveera described was, in Hindi we call it, you are a Gyata Drashta. And what does a Gyata Drashta mean? Gyata Drashta means you have the knowledge. So you know you exist, you know you are here. That is the knowledge of what is going on. And Drashta is that you're only the person who is visualizing and seeing everything. Many times in the concept of this present living, we take it a little further and we say we are the causal agent of everything. So we are the person. I am speaking here. I am the person. I am worthy of it. And many times we forget that I just need to be an observer of this event. I'm just here because somebody else acknowledged me and I just got the opportunity and I was able to stand up here. The concept of Gyata Drashta is that very concept, that you're not the cause, you're not the result, you're not the future, you are just in the present and you're just being the observer. And in that process, when you're observing things, Jainism takes it a step further and say, now do not take it too hard, do not make opinions about it. Do not say the crowd was big, the crowd was small. These are adjectives that can be used, we should use it, but it should not be like, oh, the crowd was on such a small crowd and I was speaking in front of it. Oh, the crowd was such a huge crowd and they were so attentive. All these adjectives, when they attach to us in a format where we think and take it to the next level of saying, was it good or bad for me? Was it good or bad for the community? Was it good or bad for the organizers? All this constant thinking is where we drop the concept of Gyata Drashta and we become the cause. I did it, I was doing it, I organized it, I was able to do it. And the I word takes over, and Jainism literally wants us, in concept of conscious living, in concept of awareness, take out the I. I am not doing anything. I have done in the past, because of which I am here right now. And what does that mean is, it comes back to the karmic philosophy, and I'm not going to take the concept of karma here, but everything is a karmic and it's bonded. The reason I exist here, the reason I stand here, the reason you are in this room, it's no accident. It is not chance. It is not like all of a sudden on a Saturday morning we all said, let's come together. There is something in our karmic relationship that carried us through this medium of universe and has brought us back together for an hour here to celebrate each other. And this celebration of the soul, the celebration of the existence of the other person, is what is conscious living. Conscious living is not about me. The conscious living is about how did I come across and be a part of this larger community and be a part of this larger group. And do I then acknowledge that group? Do I honor that group? Do I celebrate that group? Do I then celebrate the existence of the other soul? And many times what happens is, in this concept of conscious living or awareness, we bring the baggage with us, right? The first time when I spoke here, I was so unknown of the fact that I just came and I was like blown away with the energy of the room, the concept and the everything. I was like attached to this, and I came to it here. Almost 10 years later, this is almost the 10th year that I'm coming here, or 10 years later, I bring a lot of that with me. I bring with me, oh, the crowd will be this, oh, there will be celebration, oh, we'll chant Mahaveera, oh, we will do Jai Jinendra to everybody, oh, I'll meet another new people that I've never seen in my life. And bringing all this with just factual information, no problems. That's conscious living. The facts can be brought forward. But then to say, oh, but I'll meet that person, and that person was not nice to me, so I'll avoid that person this time. Or if they are going to ask me to do this, I'm not going. Creating all these stories with us and living in the stories is not what conscious living is not about. Awareness, living in the present, and understanding each other from an acknowledgement of the soul. There is a reason why we are here together. And to find that reason, many times that reason is not visible, it's not valid, it's not, we don't know why we are here together. But if we acknowledge each other, then the next question that can come is, why are you here? What brings you here? Right? And then we will find that common thread where we are all here to celebrate Lord Mahaveer's birthday, or his Janma, or his coming together. And in that celebration, why you, why me? Why not 7 billion people here in the room? All that is a reason why conscious living brings in and says, explore that. And in trying to explore that, Mahaveera says, how do you explore it? How do you find this out? One form of it is communication, talking to you, understanding why we are here. But the other form of communication is with the communication with the self. Do you meditate on this issue? Do you bring together and think and say, why am I here? What am I doing here? What is my purpose? Right? Is my purpose here to stand here and talk about some scriptural understanding? Or is my purpose here to bring in a concept and leave you with a thought for you to explore? I would love it if Jainism was scriptural, and obviously there are books and there are leaders who cause Jainism to be scriptural in approach. But deep down, Jainism is an experiment with yourself. It's trying to understand who you are and why you are and what are you here for. And many times in trying to find that answer as to why you are here for or what is your purpose in life is when the definition of awareness or living consciousness begins. Because if you don't know your purpose and you just wake up every Saturday, Sunday morning and you come across like I have to do this, I have to take a shower, I have to go to work, I have to make earnings living, is that all the reason why we exist? If it was that, why now? Why in 2019 we exist in this form and we didn't exist in 1969 or 1949? There is a reason why we are here right now, and to find that reason is about conscious living and is about awareness. the effect that it will bring. So the question is, okay, now I'm aware, I know what I am, I know what I am here for, or I find a path. Many times the next question that will come is, okay, if this is what I'm for, and somewhere deep down you realize, oh, I'm here for this. The question is, do you change yourself? If you decide and you find out that you are here for promoting interfaith, or you're here for promoting Jainism, or you're here for promoting art, but you are a CPA, you are working in a company doing accounting work, or you're a marketing research analyst, the question in a conscious living world will be, do you change? Do you move on? Do you say, oh, this is not what I'm here for, so let me start doing something else? It will not happen day one. It will not. Right? And it should not be like you switch off and switch on, because that is not a possibility either. Because how can you be switching off something that you were living for 45, 50, 55 years and switch on something that you want to do? In a conscious awareness living world, you need to start transcending towards that. And in starting to transcend towards that, you need to drop the baggages. There are lots of baggages, be it with your family, with your friends, everywhere you carry those baggages with you, and you're like, hey, how are you doing? Nice, nice, nice. And, oh, you didn't do this to me last time I met you, and you throw the baggage back, right? The thing that you carried, it's never buried down, and it's always on your back, and you bring it forward in the next conversation, and then you take it back, 10 years later it comes back. If you are going to live a conscious life, you have to bury all those conversations deep down, never to bring them up again. Now the question is, how do you do that? How do you do that? To be aware and live in the present, where do you take these baggages and bury them? And many times people say, nah, forget it, ignore it, don't worry about it. Does that help? I don't think so. Because you bring it back. Next time you meet that person, even though you said, I ignored it, I didn't want to talk about it, somewhere in your head, he was not right to me. She did this to me. My mom didn't smile at me last time I met her. My car was broken by this guy, and he never told me that he broke my car. So you carry these baggages. In a conscious awareness living, I would encourage you to have those dialogues, to bury those things forever. Openly ask the person, openly go and tell the person, I need to talk to you. There is something I'm carrying for the last 10 years, 5 years, 5 days, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. I don't know how long you've been carrying that. And tell them, this is exactly what I want to carry. I want to tell you, I don't want to carry this anymore. And bury it. And then the other side may or may not accept it, all right? Obviously, that person is not living in a conscious world. So that person is like, what do you mean? I never did this to you. What do you mean? What do you mean? Yes, you may have never done this to me. All I'm telling you is, this is my experience of you. This is how you came across to me. This is how I experienced you. And in my experiencing of you, I didn't like it. So I want to acknowledge that it happened. I want to tell you that I'm coming out of it in a circle of this vicious circle of constantly thinking about it. Take a tangent out. Get out of this. Tell that person I'm moving on, and now in my relationship, I don't want to bring this. And many times the other person will say, really? I didn't know I came across this way. Or they'll be like, yeah, I did this to you. I apologize too. And in my experimentation in the last 3 years, I had these baggages with at least 20 people, let's say. And I did this conversation. And all 20 of them, and after the end of the conversation, came out and said, either I'm sorry that I came across this way and my experience of you was this way, I apologize. Or it was, I'm sorry I did this to you. I did it to you, and I understand I should have not done this to you. So in both the situations, I buried that and I moved forward because it was bothering me. I was coming with it. And hence, when I showed up in places, I showed up with like distrust amongst people. I would not trust people because I don't know how these people would react because that person reacted that way. And I turned all that. So today, when I'm living in this conscious, aware world, am I Mr. Perfect out there? Oh, no way, by no means I'm saying that. But it's a journey that has started for me. And this journey is manifesting itself in huge, huge time management solutions. Because in the past, I was like in 100 places and I was struggling and I was running back and forth. Now, all of a sudden, in a conscious living world, I'm able to prioritize. I'm literally able to say, this is what I'm going to do today. and this is how I'm going to do it. That time management has helped, stress management has gone, and relationships have become purer, better, and everything. Conscious living is about living in the present and not bringing the baggages in the past to carry ourselves into the future. And the future is what we have defined why we are here for. So this is what I have researched in the last 2-3 years. I wanted to share it with all of you. Thank you again for the opportunity, and I look forward to an active participation in this work. Thank you very much.